All right. I think we're live on
Yes, we're
Facebook.
live.
I think we're live. I am super excited, guys. I am going to be tagging as many people as possible. If you're watching this live, please go ahead and comment live. If you're watching this on the replay, just go ahead and comment team replay. I am so excited, guys. I got it pulled up. We are live. I have got one of my favorite people, one of our Alex and I's favorite people that we've ever worked with, one of our just dear friends we got to spend time in Florida with, Mr. Bert De Vera. Bert, thank you for hopping on with me tonight.
Thanks for having me here, Will. Appreciate it.
Dude, I'm so excited because I think there are so many people out there who struggling with money, struggling with making enough money, struggling with creating an income, and being able to watch you, Bert, and what you've done for yourself and what you're doing for other people has been super inspiring. And I just want to expose you to more people because you have a way to help people really solve that problem. And I want to start first, though, Bert. There's probably people in our group. I think a lot of people probably know you by now, but there's probably some who are just seeing you for the first time. Do you mind just giving us a little bit about your background? Are you a PT? Are you not a PT? I've had some people ask that before. What's your story, and how did you end up where you're at today?
Sure. I'll be happy to give you a little bit of my background. Guys, if you're watching this live replay, my name is Bert. I'm a physical therapist and I'm licensed in the state of Texas. I've been a PT since 1998. So this is my 21st year as a PT. And
Hey,
I know I look young. Thank you. Appreciate it.
21
so,
years.
so, I started as an employee back in 98. I was a traveling PT, different settings. I'm sure some of you who travel right now as a PT or OT, you know what I'm talking about, right? 3 months assignment, 13 weeks, and all of that. So um, I'm originally from the Philippines. I came here in the US fourth quarter of 97, September 21st to be exact, of 1997, just 3 weeks after getting married. So 3 weeks of honeymoon. I had to leave my wife, and she had to finish her degree as a medical doctor because she was also in her internship at that time. So we had to part ways after 3 weeks of getting married. That was tough, but just like most immigrants in pursuit of the American dream, you got to do what you got to do, right? So, I make this story short. I did the orientation for the American way of life and prepared for the board exam and all that. Got my license in 98, so it's been 21 years since I got my license in Texas. So I was an employee for the first 6 years of my career from 98 to 2003. And then in mid 2003, that was the turning point in my life. We were pregnant with our second child. So my wife followed suit after more than a year of waiting for visa and everything. So we were pregnant with our second child, and I was working 3 weeks straight. 3 weeks straight, guys, 21 days straight as a PT for a company. It was a home health company, and they couldn't find a PT at that time. So I had no choice but to do all the work, including, like I said, Saturday, Sunday, 21 days straight. I was so burnt out. I felt like crying on my way home on my 21st day. And that was a turning point in my life. I asked myself, you know what? How long will I be doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. How long will I be doing this thing? Okay. So, and then the fear inside me was, what if something happens to me? What if there's a layoff? What if I get fired, or the company gets bought out by another company? Okay, what's gonna happen to my wife and her soon to be two kids? Because she was like, I think 3 months away from our second child at the time.
Yes.
So I had to make a decision. It's either I do something or stay the course and just wait for circumstance to dictate my life. And so I went home, talked to my wife, and I told her, look, we got to do something different. I want to start a business. And during that time, my my plan was to do a brick and mortar outpatient clinic. But I was so scared. I was so scared, guys. I was thinking, if I have to sign a lease on a building, lease equipment, and find receptionists and find people to work for me in a clinic, how am I guaranteed to be able to pay those people and pay my rent, and not even guaranteed to put food on the table or pay myself. So, make the story short, I didn't go that route. I didn't start an outpatient clinic. I found a different model, which is the home health contracting model, which I'm sure Will is going to ask me later on how that works, and I'll be happy to share with you guys how that works. So that's a short story of who I am.
I love it. We already had people, Moises commented and said he knows exactly what it feels like to work. I think he's referring to 21 straight days. He said that happened to him at a temp job. I can't even see all the comments anymore. Someone said that they felt you on that. Todd Wickstrom says he loves that you use "we were pregnant," not "your wife was pregnant," but that you guys are a team, obviously.
Exactly. Happy wife, extended life.
It's so cool to hear your story of perseverance and of struggle. You didn't just accept the status quo, and you really felt the pain of that. And I think there are a lot of people who are feeling that. If you've ever felt or currently feel stuck at where you're at, and you feel like there's kind of a wall of where you can go, just comment stuck, whether you're watching this live or on the replay right now. Just comment stuck, because I feel like it's something we don't really talk about enough. And I know that there are plenty of people who do talk about it, but I think it's still, kind of a stigmatized thing of why aren't you happy with what you have? And instead of being like, yeah, you should go after more. And that's really what I want to dive into, Bert, because you were faced with a situation where you're 6 years in, your back's up against the wall, but you're faced with this choice that I feel like a lot of people are facing right now, which is, well, maybe my only way out is to start a cash practice or a brick and mortar hybrid or insurance-based practice. I feel like that's the only way that we're really shown to create new income for ourselves, or to get out of the place that we're in. Do you mind taking me through weighing kind of your options as you were looking at different models? Because you talked about, hey, I was looking at maybe starting my own practice. Do you mind just taking me through what was going through your mind that swayed you from maybe starting your own practice to like looking for something else?
Yeah, sure. So, my way of thinking at that time, and I would say this to anyone who's currently on the crossroads of thinking of what business to start. Okay, I think you will benefit from you'll benefit from my thought process at that time. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty practical. Okay, if you think about it, one, you have to look at what are your needs right now. What's your number? Okay, when I say what's your number, how much money do you need every month to sustain yourself, your family? That includes your rent, your house, your whatever, your food on the table, utilities, and all that. Let's say your number is $5,000 a month. Okay, you need $5,000 to be able to sustain your lifestyle. Okay, now my question was to myself at that time was, if I need $5,000 a month to sustain my family, will I be able to guarantee myself to make that amount if I start a brick and mortar, clinic? And the answer to myself at that time was no. No, I can't even guarantee myself $5,000 a month of profit to take care of my family. Okay. So that to me was a no. I can't take that risk. That's too much for me. Okay. So we all have levels of risk you can take, but in my case at the time, that's not an option. Okay. So we had about 3 to 6 months emergency fund. We had some savings, but I wasn't gonna put my wife in a situation where we're just gonna deplete those savings. Okay. So I figured, so when I found out about this home health contracting model, I was able to figure out, okay, if I'm doing the home health contract model, then I'm reducing the overhead. I don't have rent to pay. I don't have utilities to pay. And then I don't have any full-time staff to pay. Okay. I can, hire PRN and then just go from there. Okay. But I did make a mistake, just to make things clear. I did make a mistake of hiring full-time staff when I was starting. Okay. And I figured out fast enough that that's not the way to go, because I couldn't sleep every 2 weeks when it's payday, especially when the census was very low. Okay. And so from having full-time staff, I switched to PRN, all PRN staff. And my logic at that time is, if you have 4 PRN therapists, for example, that can do 10 visits a week for you, 10, 10, 10, 10, that's 40 visits a week of manpower, which is equal to one full-time. So why would I get a full-time person if I can spread it out to 4 or even 5 PRN therapists without thinking of benefits to pay and all that? So risk and reward is my line of thought at that time. What else? I was thinking of the worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? If you don't get a patient, okay, in this business model, if you're thinking of doing this home health contracting on the side as a side hustle, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is you still have your job. Okay. For all the students I'm teaching right now, I'm not recommending them to quit their jobs and dive in right away. Start this on the side. Okay. You got to keep your job for the meantime, or whatever you're doing that's paying your bills, because you do have bills to pay, right? Start this on the side. That way, when you get to a point where the money you're making is equal to your current pay, then you have the option to quit your job, or, just focus on this home health contracting full time. So that was my line of thought. I hope that helped. So
yeah, well, Moises just said great financial strategy. He actually, I think it's so smart, and I think you don't have to risk everything at once. Maybe starting a practice can be jumping in. I know you don't have to, but I think sometimes it's kind of an all or nothing mentality. And I think probably for Bert, there's some people out there, including me before I met you, who are probably going, "Wow, that sounds cool. What is home health contracting? Like, how does it work? Why is there a need in the market?" Do you mind just explaining just some of the details or basics of what exactly home health contracting is?
Sure. Thanks for asking that, because I know not a lot of therapists, or I can't assume that 100% of therapists know what home health is,
Yeah.
unless they did a rotation in a home health setting, right? So, guys, if you're not familiar on what is a home health agency is basically a company that's certified by Medicare and is part of a network of insurance companies that cater to homebound patients. Okay. On the geriatric side, there's also home health pediatric, but for tonight's discussion, which is basically the model that I do, I focus on the geriatric side. Okay. So a home health agency applies usually to get certified by Medicare, and it takes about a year for them to be certified by Medicare, with about 10 or 12 patients pro bono. So Medicare can survey them, and therefore it requires a lot of money to start one if you do full-blown home health agency. Okay. They also provide nursing services, social worker, home health aide, all parts of rehab, PTs, OTs, SLPs, and they usually have a medical director. Okay. So it's just like any other healthcare entity. It's very involved. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay. So they cater to homebound patients. Obviously, homebound meaning when a patient has a hard time or taxing effort to get out of the home, or for some reason their diagnosis is medically contraindicated for them to leave their homes. Okay. So let's use as an example, a total knee replacement. So let's say you have a 70-year-old total knee replacement patient that just got out of surgery. Usually the doctor will now order home health services for that patient, because that 70-year-old patient will have a hard time driving to a clinic, right? So home health agency now will call my company, and my company is what's known as a rehab home health company or rehab staffing company. There's so many names about it, but we provide rehab services. So they call me, "Hey, Bert, we have a total knee. Can you guys take care of this patient?" Okay. So we look at the referral and it shows, okay, this is a 7-year-old total knee. What's the zip code? Okay. We have someone in that zip code. So we turn around and tell the agency, yes, we can take care of this patient. So we do our thing, evaluation, visits, soap, documentation, and then we bill for those visits directly to the home health agency per diem, you know, on a per diem rate. So let's say our contract is $75 per visit. Okay. So $75, let's say you have 12 visits. Okay. At 10 visits, that's 750. At 12 visits, plus 150, that's $900, right? So we bill the agency $900 straight, no billing codes, no Medicare codes, no ICD-10 codes, no insurance codes, just per visit, $75, one visit. Okay. Now the agency, the home health agency, will now turn around and bill Medicare for those visits. So they get money from Medicare, and whatever money they get from Medicare, that's the money they use to pay us, and they keep the profit. Okay. Same thing with me. The money I get from the agency, I pay my staff, my PT assistant, my PTs, and I keep the profit. So everybody's happy. Okay. Medicare, home health agency, my company, my staff, and the patients. That's how it works.
Love it. And I can tell, guys, I mean, I worked in home health for a year and a half, and it was amazing to me how many patients just couldn't be seen. Like there was overflow in our staff. Like I was offered weekly for a while, just, hey, do you want to take 10 more patients and make extra money if you want to? And it was like, man, I'm already seeing a full caseload. Like you had the opportunity because we just couldn't staff enough people to see all the patients that needed help. And I guess it really opened my eyes. I was like, wow, so what happens to these people if I say no, right? Like I wasn't contractually obligated to go see them. And I guess that's kind of maybe a question too, Bert. I'm just
I think I lost you, Will. Are you there? Kind of froze up. You there, Will? Oh, technical difficulties, guys. Not sure what happened.
Bert.
Yep.
Oh man, I think we're still on Facebook somehow.
Yep. So we had technical difficulty right there. Okay.
Wow. I think, it's storming here in Pittsburgh, and I wonder if it's affecting my internet. But all right, we're back. So if you were able to stick with us through, it looks like we still got like 15 people on, 17. We're good. All right. He froze. The show must go on. Says we're back. Everyone can hear us. All right. Brutal.
All right.
Oh man, how much okay, sweet. Cool. We got some questions coming in that I will get to, Bert. Hopefully the storm here in Pittsburgh doesn't ruin too much of the internet connection. But I was going to ask you, Bert. So one thing I realized while I was doing home health is that there's this gap of the amount of people that can't be seen because there's just not enough staff available.
Right.
And I would love to kind of pick your brain, like, why is this even an opportunity for us? Why is there, like, is it because there's so many people leaving hospitals that are homebound that agencies can't staff enough people? How is this even a market for us?
Right. Good question. Guys, if you Google how many people turn into seniors every day, there's 10,000 people who turn seniors every day. Okay. That's a lot. 10,000 people turn seniors every day. Okay. There's a lot of patients out there. And the reason my company is thriving because, when an agency gets a referral and their in-house therapists are full, guess what? They're not going to turn around and tell the doctor, hey, doc, we're full. We can't take your patient. That would be foolish for them to say that. That's going to make the doctor unhappy. Okay. and that's money on the table that they're leaving because, you know, that patient will generate revenue for the home care agency. Okay. And not only that, okay, they have to make sure that they are able to cover whatever the hospital is sending them or the nursing home is sending them for them to continue to be able to do business. Okay. Like I said, the last thing that they want to do is to reject a referral. This is where we come in. Okay. We take care of that. And mind you, there are agencies with no full-time in-house therapists at all. Okay. They just contract out because they also want the idea of contracting or paying as they go. So they don't have to pay in-house benefits. They don't have to pay in-house vacation pays and insurance and all that stuff. Okay. So it's pay as you go for them. It's also pay as you go for me. Okay. So I'm solving that problem. And the other problem also is, for example, you know, a home health agency does not want to commit to getting a traveling PT for 3 months or 13 weeks. I'm solving that problem because I'm local. Okay. I tell the home health agency, look, you don't have to get a traveling PT if you don't have a budget for that. Because what happens is if they sign up with a traveling agency to get a PT for 3 months, regardless of their census, they have to pay that staffing agency or travel agency worth 3 months. Okay. This was actually one of the problems of one of my students before she knew me. She had 2 traveling PTs for her outpatient, and she was paying a total of about more than 60 hours a week for 2 traveling PTs, but she doesn't have the census in her outpatient. So she contacted me, hey, Bert, I want to start my own home health so I can utilize these 2 therapists. And so we solved that problem. Okay. So the other problem I'm solving is for our colleagues who are sent home from the nursing home or hospitals because they also don't have a census, right? When the caseload is low in the nursing home, SNF, or hospitals, what happens? The rehab director will send them home. Okay. They don't want you sitting around if your productivity is below what they require, right? So if you're the therapist, you're getting sent home or you're getting forced to use your PTO, your paid time off. How does that feel? That sucks, right? Because you have bills to pay. You have student loans to pay, okay? And you have rent to pay, mortgage to pay. That sucks. I'm solving that problem because now they can come to me, be part of my roster of PRN therapists, and I can provide jobs for them. All right. So it's a win-win for everyone. So that's how it works.
I love it. I love it. Thanks. I actually hadn't even, I learned something new there. I know you and I have talked dozens of times, and I learned something new there about how kind of the gap that you're filling. And we've got some questions. Marlene has a couple of questions. Marlene, I feel bad. I can't find your first question that you asked. I think Marlene asked something like, on average, you know, what can you expect to make as your profit after paying your PTs and PTAs per visit? And Bert, if that's a better question to answer in a message with Marlene, that's fine too. I don't know if there's a quick.
No, I can answer that. That's a very good question because they have to know how much profit can you make in this business. Okay. So through my students from East Coast to West Coast, I found out the average pay for a flat fee for home health is around $75. That's the average. Okay. If you're living in the Bay Area, you know, San Francisco, California, that's a gold mine. I'm telling you, if you're living in that area right now, the rates there are high. The starter care oasis over there is about 150 to 160. The eval is about 130 to 140. And the regular visit is about 100 to 120. Okay. That's high over there. Well, it's mainly because the standard of living is also high in that area. So it kind of evens out. Okay. So in Texas, the going rate is about $75. Okay. So how do you make money? You pay your PRN PTs or OTs about the same amount. You don't make a profit on the supervising PT or OT. You make a profit on the PTAs and the quotas. Okay. You pay the PTAs $45 based on their experience, sometimes 40 if they don't have any experience. You pay the quota, same thing, 45 or 40. So if your average is $75 and you're paying the PTA 45, so your profit is at $30. Okay. So average profit $30. I just shared a video on my Facebook post on how you can make an extra 24 grand a year doing just 2 evals or re-evals a week. Okay. I can share that real quick if I can share my screen. Can I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my screen here. Let me X this out. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be quick, guys. I'm just gonna show you a quick computation here. Can you see my screen? Will?
Yep. I can even see it
Okay.
on the Facebook group. Yep.
All right. So this is how it works, guys. So if you do 2 evals a week, okay, 2 evals, 3 evals a week times 4 weeks, you're seeing 8 new patients a month, right? 8 new patients a month. You multiply that by 12 months, then you're seeing a total of 96 patients a year. 96 patients a year times $75, you're going to make 7,200 on the side. That's coming from your own work. You trading your time for money, 7,200, okay? However, if you own a company like I do, where you can delegate those new patients to a PTA, you will make more than this. You can make as much as 24 grand a year. How? Okay, let me show you now. So remember the 8 patients you see, okay? If each patient has a frequency of 2 times a week for 4 weeks, okay? 2 times a week times 4 weeks, the total number per patient is 8 visits, correct? So 8 visits minus your 2 visits, which is eval and discharge, you have 6 visits that you can delegate to your assistant, to your PTA, 6 visits, okay? So 6 visits times 96 patients a year, okay? Because you're seeing 2 patients a week. That's 576 visits from your assistants. You multiply that by $30 profit, okay, coming from the $75 minus 45 you pay them, you are going to generate a profit of $17,280 a year. This is coming from your PTAs or quotas. This is not from your own work. You add your own work of 7,200, which is the 2 visits that you do, then voila, you just created yourself $24,480 extra income a year. That's how simple it is.
Man.
All right. So I hope you guys got that. All right.
Yeah.
There you have it.
I love it. If you would like even, let's say, even a fraction of that, let's say half, 12 grand more a year, if that would really help out you in your life, just comment 12K. Put 12K in the comments if you feel like even 12K next year would benefit your life. And Bert just showed you how you can make double of that. Now, granted, of course, it takes some work and you're going to have to find ways, which is what I want to talk to you about here for in a second, Bert. Marlene has a really great question about the top 4 things that should be included in a contract with a business that uses your services. Marlene, I feel like for today's talk, it's probably a high level question that please friend Bert on Facebook, drop him that question. I feel like that just might take a little while and we got to help. Bert's got to get on a call here at 9. He's being very generous with his time. But Marlene, thank you for the question. This is an amazing question. Friend Bert on Facebook and send him that question. Because Bert, I want to ask you, I think the next thing is that naturally comes to people's minds is, man, that sounds great. How on earth do I get started? And what I'm really excited about is you have figured out how to create a system around this, how to help people get started. And we don't get anything from this. We just love Bert, and we're going to talk about why we love Bert, and because it's not just about Bert, and it's about what he's trying to do to help PTs and help us in the rehab world to grow, and why he started Rehabpreneur. But Bert, real quick before we dive into our big announcement about what's coming, if someone's like right now, like, whoa, light bulb moment, something light just, the switch just flipped in their brain, like, whoa, I never thought about this as an opportunity. How do people get started? How should people reach out to you if they're excited? What's the best way to get started? Do you mind just telling us a little bit about your coaching program?
Sure. So, guys, I own the website HomeHealthContract.com, and Will can put the link below these comments for you guys to access the 4 videos that I share there for free to understand better how this works. Okay. In the 4 videos, I explain to you, the first video is about cash flow. Okay, you got to understand cash flow. Where is the money coming from, and what type of cash flow benefits you? Okay. The second video is a case study on how it works. It's basically a recap of what I showed you live tonight. And we have a case study there of the total knee replacement, how I made $480 an hour in one total knee. Okay. The third video is how can you execute while keeping your job? Okay. How can you do this without sacrificing your job? That's a very, very important video. Okay. And then the last video will show you how can I help you from the ground up. Should you want to do this, I'm going to show you, the ways I can teach you how to start your company, how to gather your crew, how do you get your contract, how do you pay your staff from your phone, how do you run your company from your phone. Guys, I run my company from my iPhone. I don't have any paper. I can go anywhere, go travel to Pittsburgh, meet with Will, and I still run my company from my phone. That's awesome, right?
That's amazing.
So yeah. So you will know more about the details of this business model if you click the link that Will is going to give you in the comments.
I just put it in the comments, guys. If you, I genuinely mean this. I've told Bert, I've joked with Bert, and I'm gonna regret it that I haven't purchased the course yet with the price it's at right now. That if there's one thing that I would probably invest my money in right now, as a rehab professional, it would probably be in taking Bert's course. And I think a part of it is, maybe we should answer this question real quick, because I think this is important. I've had some experience in home health, and I've seen that world. And so I have a better, maybe insight than someone who hasn't had a rotation or even practice in that setting. Bert, do you have to have home health experience to do this? Is it beneficial? Is there anything to think about if you've never had experience in that? Is this still a good fit for you?
That's a very good question. If you go to my website, bertpt.com or rehabpreneur.com, and you click testimonials, you will see in there the first video of Anthony Evans. This guy is a PT from North Carolina, no home health experience at all. Doesn't know what's an Oasis, doesn't know what's an episode, doesn't know what's a certification period. No home health experience.
I'm so jealous he doesn't know what those things are.
But he was able to execute in 1.5 months. Okay. Anthony Evans, PT from North Carolina, used to do a one-on-one cash-based practice. He was renting a room in a gym, and then reached out to me one day, and he said, "Hey, Bert, I want to do something else where other people or other therapists are working for me besides what I'm doing one-on-one, how to generate, passive income, get leverage." So he got into my course, and I taught him how to do it in 1.5 months, guys. In 1.5 months, he was able to establish his company, gather his crew, and gather his first contract, and got his first invoice paid in 7 days. In 7 days. And he's killing it, still crushing it. As a matter of fact, I even, recommend people to talk to him before they get to my course, so they can hear from him, what has he done. Okay. So I'm very proud of this guy, Anthony Evans from North Carolina. And not only that, if you're a PT, You can do this. If you're an OT, you can also do this. Under the testimonials video, you'll find Elsa Lopez, an occupational therapist from San Antonio, who did this. If you're an SLP, speech language pathologist, you can do this. There's a video in there from Tina Degg from Houston, Texas. She used to work full time in a school setting. In 8 months, she quit her job. Okay. Michael Rivera from the Bay Area, Modesto, California, near Bay Area. Him and his wife, both PTs, they used to work full time in an outpatient setting. In 3 months' time, they both quit their jobs. They now have 7 employees, 2 company cars, and a ton of patients. Sometimes they can't even handle it. Okay. I got a text the other day that I posted in my Facebook page. One of my students posted or texted me, and she said, Bert, I need help. I have too many patients. Isn't that a good problem? Usually PTs are on the other end of the spectrum. We have problems in getting patients. But this student of mine from Bay Area is complaining that she has too many patients. Who would want that problem? I do, right? That's awesome. So guys, this is what this business can do for you. Okay. Now, given I'm not promising all of you will have the same results. It will depend on how you hustle and how you make it happen. Okay. This is not a get rich quick scheme where you get my course and tomorrow you get tons of patients. No, you got to make it work. I show you the how, you got to execute. Okay. It's the same thing as PT school or OT school or SLP school. They showed us the how in school. After graduation, you got your license, you have to execute, right? Same thing. I just want to make that clear.
No, yeah, totally. And I think that's a great point. And yeah, guys, if you've learned something new, whether you watch this live or on the replay, just comment new. Because I feel like when I first met Bert, so much of this was just brand new and opened my eyes to a world that I hadn't thought of before. I just sort of thought, okay, I can either go start my own practice, I could partner with someone who has a practice, or that was pretty much it. Those are the only ways I thought I could probably go make more money. I didn't even know about online business. I didn't know anything about home health contracting. And when I met you, Bert, and you said this idea, and my experience in home health was like, wait, what? You can do that? That makes so much sense. And it's really fascinating. So if you're learning something new, just comment new. And more importantly, Bert, if someone's out there right now, we're going to dive into something I'm really excited about. If someone's just really curious about this part, the what you do and home health contracting, your business, how can people friend you on Facebook? Is that one of the best ways? How else can they reach out to you or contact you?
Yes, they can friend me on Facebook. You can message me. If you type bertpt.me, that's BERTPT.me, bertpt.me, that'll take you directly to my messenger page. If you guys want to contact me directly, I'm probably going to be one of the few people that will give you my phone number. Okay. So feel free to put it in the comments. Guys, you can call or text me at 972-649-9909. 972-649-9909. Feel free to reach out to me, connect with me, or you can find my Facebook handle, Engelbert De Vera PT. Will can also put that in there, and we can connect on Facebook. Yeah. And I can tell you, I will be the one texting you back. I will be the one calling you back. It's not a telemarketer. You will talk to a colleague. You will talk to a PT like me. I promise you that. Okay? All right.
I love it. That's why we love you, Bert. That's why Alex and I have gravitated towards you, and just because you're down to earth. And more importantly, you are thinking about things as a whole. And yes, you have a course and a program that can really, really help people's lives and really change their financial lives. But what we really love about you and why I wanted to bring you on is you really want to help people in general. Like, you're just a good guy who really wants to help people find ways. And because of that, you're doing something special, which is taking on this entire responsibility to host a whole virtual summit of teaching people how they can learn different ways to leverage their degrees And I'm super pumped for it. You were so kind. You've asked Alex and I to speak at it, to be two of the speakers. Can you just fill us in for people who are listening, who are like, wait, what is this virtual summit thing? Like, what can I expect? What is it? And what can people expect?
Sure. Thanks for asking about that, Will. So,
Yeah.
guys, if you're listening right now or if you're going to watch the replay, on June 29th and 30th, we are hosting Rehabpreneur Live Summit. So, if you go to rehabpreneurlive.com, Will can put in the link down here. What we're doing is, what I did is I put together different speakers with different business models to introduce to you the different ways you can monetize your skills. Whether you're a PT, OT, or SLP, there are different ways for you to make money. There are different ways for you to generate revenue. Okay. I will be one of the speakers. I will talk about home health contracting, obviously. I will show you how I do it and, the ins and outs, the major moving parts of a home health contract. Okay. Alex and Will be there. They will talk to you about how do you market the kind of business or the type of business model you choose, because whatever business you have without marketing, you're not going to thrive. You have to know how to get clients. Customer acquisition is key. Okay. And I don't know any better guys than Will and Alex to do that. Guys, hats off to these guys. They helped me with that aspect in my business, that I can tell you. And they didn't pay me to say that. Okay. All right. And then another topic is, how do you start an outpatient brick and mortar if that's what you want to do? Okay. That's what you want to do. We have Scott Harmon. Scott Harmon is going to teach you from step one to step done how to do a brick and mortar practice. And his cup of tea is pediatric outpatient, pediatric practice. However, his model can still teach you how to do the adult side of brick and mortar practice. Okay. We have Anthony Maritato. Okay. Anthony Maritato is the expert for Medicare and cash base. Okay. Where do you draw the line when you want to, build cash? And what is the boundary for you to make sure you're billing Medicare, and how do you bill Medicare? Okay. What else? Telehealth. If you want to learn about telehealth, we have Rob Vining and Asha Gumadi. They both have their own softwares that they use as a platform on how can you provide telehealth. Okay, you can be sitting from your home, sitting somewhere and providing therapy services through virtual platform and be able to charge for it like cash using credit cards or whatever. Okay, those guys, Rob and Asha, will teach you how to do that. Okay, what else? Pelvic health. Okay, pelvic and women's health. Guys, if you're not aware, pelvic and women's health is already booming. There's a lot of women's health that's needed out there. For example, postpartum. Jessica Drummond will talk about this topic. Okay, there are a lot of women who just delivered a baby who don't want to get out of their house, but they need help as far as getting back in shape or making sure they're not dribbling, or they don't have any problem urinating, or what's that term for your abdomen?
Yeah, diastasis recti.
Diastasis recti. Okay, so those are the things you can cater to. Okay, so Jessica Drummond will teach you how do you address that. How can you make money off of that using your skills? Okay. What else? We have Will Butler. Will Butler will talk to you about the finance side of business. Okay. If you want to enter into business, how do you make sure you're making money? How do you make sure you're making the right preparation should you want to exit your business? Okay. Where should you invest? Okay. Will Butler will teach you that. Okay. And then of course we have Mike Chua. Mike Chua will teach you how can you create a book to position yourself as an expert, okay, in your field of choice. Okay. In his case, his field of choice is dementia. He wrote the book Misunderstanding Dementia. Okay. So he will teach you how you can do that. So guys, if you look at it, this is what I call a smorgasbord of topics, you know, a smorgasbord of different business models, and we're all coming together for 97 bucks. Okay, $97. You can attend this summit and you can have access to replay. Okay, you will have the replay access. It's going to be June 29th and 30th, Saturday, full day, and then half day Sunday. Okay, so Will, feel free to add more to that if I miss anything.
I don't think so. I think honestly, guys, I'm just so excited. Not only do Alex and I feel super honored to even be invited to speak, but really, I'm really excited to just listen to everyone else speak. Like, other than Scott, I think I've met every single person in person that's going to be speaking. If you guys have ever heard Rob, you know Rob brings incredible, insane amounts of value when it comes to telehealth. Like, breaks it down like nobody else. Asha as well. I had the opportunity to meet Asha in person in Florida. So smart, so freaking smart. She's such a smart girl. And you look at Tony Meritato has been helping our industry for so long. He's going to break down so much. Will Butler when it comes to finances. Jessica Drummond was amazing. I got to hear her speak in Florida. She was absolutely out of this world. Mike Chua, one of the nicest, funniest guys you'll ever meet on the planet. In fact, don't ever run into Mike with he and his wife at the same time. You might pee yourself from laughing so much. That guy is hilarious. And Bert's going to be talking. I'm just so excited for what you're going to be able to learn. If you think about, we're asking for $97 that you could go spend on a terrible MedBridge course that brings you no investment in your life. And you're going to learn how to potentially open up your world financially by doing this. So, Bert, I know you got to get running. Will you just let people know one more time? I'm going to drop the link, and I'm actually going to make a whole separate post as well to hype this up. But will you just let people know one more time where they can go if they want to find out more about it?
They can go to rehabpreneurlive.com. So rehabpreneurlive.com. Okay, so guys, go there, and I'm sure a link will be there down in the comments, and secure your spot because this is going to be awesome. Guys, we don't know if we're going to do this again because we all have our businesses where we have busy lives, but I'm so grateful for these speakers who are willing to come together with me to make this happen. So if I were you, take advantage of this. This might not happen again. So this is probably a once in a blue moon type of thing where we're going to gather together and share with you our secret sauce, share with you how we do stuff. And these are speakers who are doing it themselves. This is not theory. This is not hypothesis. We are doers. These are business models that we are currently doing. All right. So see us, rehabpreneurlive.com.
Bert, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you got a busy schedule, and I want to say, guys, that Bert doesn't need to do this. He doesn't have to do this. Bert has a thriving business. He's fine on that aspect. It's something that Bert knows the pain of what it feels like to feel stuck, what it's like to feel like there's no hope in your career, to feel like your back's against the wall. And instead of having to go spend hours and hours and hours and probably days and weeks that Bert went through to research all the different options of how to get buy himself time, essentially to be with his family, to be able to spend with his wife and his kids, to go study all of those things, learn that he's bringing together the best collection of people in different aspects who have figured out different ways to create businesses to give themselves time back into their lives. And I just want to say thank you for putting this together, Bert, because I know that you don't need to do this, you don't have to do this, but it's something that you just feel compelled to do. And I really just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Like you, I'm committed to helping our colleagues. We got a lot of people to help.
Got so many people to help.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, so Bert, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I know you got to run to a call, but guys, check out rehabpreneurlive.com. You're going to be seeing at least one, probably 3 or 4. I'm just going to give you a heads up. Posts coming soon promoting the event. It's going to be amazing. Hope to see you there. Karen, thank you for hopping on live. Karen, you might be a great person to talk to Bert. You should definitely reach out to Bert about what he's doing. Guys, we'll catch you later in the group. Bert, thanks so much. And we'll see you at Rehabpreneur Live, the digital summit, weekend of June 29th and 30th. See you guys. Have a great
Thank you, guys. Good night.